What's up, guys? We are finally excited to be able to release the one and only raised scents that we've been talking about for so long. We've taken years and years and years of experiments, observing, all sorts of research to be able to produce what this is for you guys and be able to I feel like we've really extracted a secret out of the hunting community and what whitetails are doing to communicate with each other. And we've been able to put that secret in a bottle and help you guys understand what it is and help you. So what that is a glandular sense. And if you're wondering what a glandular scent is, it's how deer are communicating. So we're seeing all sorts of different actions, whether it's scrapes, rubs, licking branches, how deer are interacting with each other. They're not just doing those things because they're doing them or leaving a mark behind or whatever these thoughts processes or what we have thought they're doing. All these things are based around is a gland. So whitetails have many, many different glands. And to start, we have 5 different products here, then we have 6 different glands covered in them. And I'm gonna go over a little bit about why they're different and why we use what we use and what's in each one of them. So for starters, in all of them, except for our LHD, which is our Lonely Hot Doe, we have pure glandular scent in it. So it's 100%, it's not synthetic, it's not urine based, it's pure glands from a white-tailed deer. And so for our first ones, we have our Scrape King and our Scrape Queen. They're the same gland as far as they're both a pre-orbital gland, and that's the only gland we have in there, and for good cause. So we separated them into a buck and a doe because we wanted a buck pre-orbital and we wanted a doe pre-orbital, and the reason being is does and bucks are both making scrapes. Fawns will even make scrapes. And it's just a matter of the time of year they're always using them, but it's just a matter of how much they're using them and why they're using them. So with the pre-orbital gland, they're gonna say lots of things. When you see them rubbing their eye or their face on a scrape or like on a licking branch, it's not them just rubbing their face or itching something that some people may think. What they're actually doing is there's a gland right next to their eye. It's right in their tear duct. And that gland is allowing other deer to know that they're there, what they're saying as far as their breeding status, their dominance, all sorts of different things that we're gonna get into when we break down each one of these scents. But with that, we wanted to be able to say, hey, here's a buck pre-orbital, and we're gonna put this on a scrape, and we wanna introduce a new buck to the area to intrigue the curiosity of other deer as well, other bucks particularly. And with that, we also wanted a doe so that we could take a doe scent, put it there, because a lot of times does will make scrapes or leave scent behind in certain areas to allow other bucks and other deer in the area know that she's in heat or she's gonna be close to becoming in heat and certain things like that. So we wanted to be able to have a doe and a buck to be able to tell these deer that there's a new buck in the area, there's a new doe in the area, and have it separate. The reason that's different is because everybody blends their pre-orbitals together. And their pre-orbitals as far as bucks and does go, as well as people are using a urine-based or synthetics. We went 100% pure gland here, guys. And it is the most direct scent and pure scent you can find from a whitetail to communicate with them because we want the most accurate communication level we can have with a deer. Instead of trying to make something that smells like it or similar to it, they know the difference. They do. And so we have taken it to where they aren't going to be able to tell the difference because there is no difference. It's from a real white-tailed deer. So the next one we have is our Scrape Addict. This is one that I find extremely intriguing because we haven't just singled out a single gland to use. If you pay attention to how deer are making scrapes and rubs, they're using more than just one gland at a time. So for scrapes, for instance, they're using their forehead gland, their salivary gland, their preorbital, their tarsal, and their interdigital. So all those are located in different areas, whether they're interdigital, like in their hoof, and their forehead gland, which is obviously on their forehead. So they're all in different spots, but if you watch them make a scrape, they're using all of them. We've taken the glands, each scent gland, from a white-tailed deer, like I've said, complete pure form, and put it into one bottle so that when I'm going to make a scrape or a mock scrape or even doctor up an existing scrape, I can take that and basically make it seem like, first off, a deer full-on came here and made a real scrape. Second off, the way we have taken each glandular scent, it's going to look like there's multiple other deer coming into an area all at once. So we don't use a lot when we use these sprays. We're getting 350 to 400 pumps out of each one of these bottles solely for the fact that when I go to set a scrape, I'm only putting 2 to 3 sprays on there, especially with something like the Scrape Addict, because I don't want to put too much scent out there. I just want to let the doe or the deer know that there's something new in the area. And the reason being is this stuff is so pure, I can smell it. The human nose can smell it. And a lot of these scents that the glands are producing from whitetails, you can't smell with the human nose because their noses are so much more powerful than ours. So we use small amounts of that. And with the Scrape Addict specifically, we're introducing a lot of different scents all at once. But what that helps you do is make a community scrape, whether it's like I said, a natural one or a mock scrape. I'm able to put those deer where I want to, and I give it a week or two, the scent lasts, and eventually I can get them using that consistently throughout the year and throughout following previous years too. So that's a Scrape Addict in a summary, which is great. And our next one is probably one of our coolest scents we have created yet. And nobody's created anything even similar to it because it is pure, it is a select few glands, and we have picked them very specifically, you should say. So the Buck Junkie is a salivary and a forehead gland. And when you see a deer make a rub on a tree, it's not them just scraping up the tree, tearing up the tree, whatever we all think that they're doing. What they're really doing is they're trying to get their forehead gland on that tree to leave behind scent. And so with the forehead gland, we use, for the Buck Junkie and the forehead gland we put in it, we're using this on scrapes, we're using it on rubs, and allowing us to be able to take a rub where we were seeing trees and everything, where deer are hitting certain rubs all the time, we can put that rub where we want to. And we can put that rub, whether it's in shooting distance or have a certain spot where we're getting deer to come to where we want it. And with that, the salivary gland that's also in it, we're being able to tell deer in scrapes when they're making licking branches and messing with tree limbs, they're not just chewing on the limbs, they're actually injecting their salivary gland scent into that tree limb, and it stays behind. So we've taken these two together specifically because they're very commonly used with whitetails from bucks and does, and put it all in one. And it's actually the only one we have in an oil because it is such a pure form of that gland that we've put it in just a legitimate oil based off of the oil that we're getting from the whitetails. So it is the most pure glandular scent you can possibly get is our Buck Junkie. And it is a really, really cool hand-picked glands that we've picked out for that, guys. So that is one of our most excitable ones. And the last one, we've kind of reinvented the wheel. So it's the LHD, or the Lonely Hot Doe. Everybody's probably used a doe estrus at some point in time. What the doe estrus typically is just either synthetic or it's actually extracted from a doe, but it's just urine. So urine, a deer can understand, or a buck can understand when a doe is in heat based off of their urine. What we neglected to understand is that glands are also telling them a heck of a lot more than just their urine. So this is the only one that we've put actual doe estrus urine in. We've extracted that from the peaks of the rut, so end of October through mid to late November. And with that though, we want them to know more than just what the urine is telling them. We want to be able to show a deer what they're going to smell from a live deer. So when a doe goes into heat, she's going to be using multiple glands, whether it's her forehead, her salivary, or pre-orbital, many different things, as well as her urine. So we've taken the urine, put it in there, and added glands to it. So we've taken that wheel and kind of improved it from what the original is and made it even better. So every one of these scents has some form of use in certain areas, and they're all completely unique in their own ways. So we're super excited to be able to release these to you guys. Like I said, it's kind of like a secret that I feel like we have not been able to discover in the hunting world yet, and we finally be able to put it out there now. So I'm here to educate you guys, help you understand. I'm learning, helping you guys learn the best I can, and we got some of the coolest scents here that are definitely not something you want to miss out on. So hope this makes sense to you guys, hope it helps, and I hope it brings some more deer into where you're looking to get them.